Could the pie win the Grand National?
Velvet Brown, who do you think you are?
Well, I'm the owner of the pie.
Hollywood's golden age was full of unforgettable stars, but some of the most famous black actors also stirred up controversy. From their rise to fame to personal struggles, these actors shaped film history in surprising ways. You'll know more about their journeys, the challenges they faced, and who they really are in both Hollywood and society. Number 20, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was born on July the 9th, 1947 in San Francisco. He was a natural talent and loved football from a very young age. O.J. was an excellent student at the University of Southern California. NFL scouts saw how well he played, so the Buffalo Bills chose him. O.J. became well known for his incredible speed and strength, and he won the 1968 Heisman Trophy, which is the top award for college football players. After stopping football, O.J. started acting and became a popular Hollywood star. He acted in movies like The Naked Gun and became known for his charm and sense of humor. His work before the camera went perfectly, winning over viewers all over. In 1994, O.J.'s life changed unexpectedly. They said he killed his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her boyfriend, Ron Goldman. Millions of people watched the media show that was The Trial. O.J. was found not guilty even though there was a lot of evidence against him. This sparked conversation about race in the judicial system. Many people found it hard to believe that a well-known person like O.J. Simpson could be involved in such a crime. O.J. later, in 2007, was found guilty of another crime, kidnapping and robbery. He was sent to jail for this. What about O.J.'s story that made him famous, but then caused people to turn against him? His story is full of surprising events. Number 19, Michael Jace. Michael Jace was an actor known for his roles in both film and television. He played a diverse officer called Julian Lowe and had a breakthrough performance in the hit TV show, The Shield. Michael quickly gained fame as a talented actor because people praised his performance for its depth and feeling. He took part in many more projects, including guest roles in movies and TV shows. Fans admired Michael for his dedication to his work because he was well known for playing serious and tough characters. Hollywood was excited to see what he would do next, and his business was getting better. Michael's life took a fatal turn in 2014. He was sent to jail for killing his wife, April Jace, in front of their children. The news surprised everyone who knew him. Michael was accused of murder, and details about the crime came up during the trial. The situation was sad, and many people struggled to understand how someone with a great future could be involved in such a terrible act. Michael's promising future changed when he was sentenced to 40 years in jail in 2016, which cut his career short, obviously. How could such a well-respected character ruin their reputation? Michael's story is both surprising and sad. Number 18, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was one of the most famous comedians and artists in the world. He started his career as a stand-up comedian, known for his truthful jokes and relatable humor. The Cosby Show, which aired from 1984 to 1992, was a significant change from what he did before. The show made Bill Cosby famous and changed how African Americans were represented on TV. Cosby became famous as America's Dad because of his role as Dr. Cliff Huxtable, and he achieved great success. Cosby made a big impact on the entertainment industry and motivated many people with his work as a comedian and actor. His skills and positive influence on television earned him many awards. In the mid-2000s, though, many women accused Bill Cosby of sexual assault, which led to a decline in his image. More than 60 women said that Cosby drugged and assaulted them, sharing similar stories. After many years of legal battles, Cosby was found guilty in 2018 of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand. His conviction shocked the public and ended the career of the once-loved comic. Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in jail. The news was very sad for many people who had admired him for years. How could someone who once represented family values turn out to have such a dark secret? Bill Cosby's story is a complicated one that's difficult to forget. Number 17, Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was one of the most famous and influential comedians in the world. In his stand-up comedy, he pushed the limits by addressing issues of race, society, and personal experiences. Pryor's straightforward and honest style made his comedy famous, especially in his show Richard Pryor Live in Concert. He was a cultural trendsetter who made people laugh and encouraged them to think, not just a comedian. He was famous for his good sense of humor and his willingness to talk about difficult topics like racism, drug abuse, and personal struggles. Richard inspired many new comedians and changed the entertainment world with his comedy skills. Richard faced personal struggles despite doing well in his career. He struggled with drug and alcohol abuse for many years, and his relationships were often unstable. He got married several times, and most of his marriages were not happy. One time, Richard accidentally burned himself, but later he laughed about it, saying he could still find humor in his pain during his shows. Even though his comedy came from his difficult experiences, it also made him a figure of strength. Richard was open about his personal problems, which made it easier for others to share theirs too. Why did Richard's pain become such a big part of his comedy? He showed that even in the darkest times, humor could shine through. Number 16, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes became famous in the 1990s for his action movies, especially Blade, where he played a half-vampire hero fighting against evil vampires. He was a respected martial artist who had a strong presence on screen. In Passenger 57, he showed off his impressive skills, which earned him praise for being quick and agile. Snipes is known for doing his own stunts, which makes his roles feel more real. This made him a popular action star in Hollywood in the 1980s, and his strength and acting skills became well known. Fans really appreciated his passion and the way he brought each film to life. He definitely had a strong presence as he made his mark in action movies. Wesley Snipes' career faced major problems, though, in 2008, when he was convicted of tax fraud. His years of ignoring taxes had caused people to complain. Snipes' career ended when he was sentenced to 3 years in jail. His reputation took a big hit, and many began to question if he could return to perform because of his legal issues. He faced big problems because he went to jail and had money issues, and he was no longer the Hollywood star he once was. Can someone truly bounce back after a huge mistake like Wesley did? His comeback story shows how redemption is possible. Number 15, Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson was a trailblazing comedian who made history in the 1970s with his TV show, The Flip Wilson Show. He was one of the first black comedians to have a popular show of his own. Geraldine, his most famous character, was a woman who often said, "The devil made me do it." Millions of people delighted in Flip's entertainment because of his original approach. Flip blazed the way for other black comedians to establish themselves on TV with his program, The Flip Wilson Show. He reached beyond limits and entertained crowds from various backgrounds with his humor. Flip Wilson's show was a key moment in TV history because it allowed black talent to shine on popular television. Flip's success was groundbreaking because black people had very few opportunities on TV in the 1970s. He was one of the first to prove that black comedians can be just as famous and funny as anyone else. Flip's achievement transformed how black talent appeared on TV and made it easier for future black comedians and comics to gain recognition. He showed that everyone, no matter their background, could find his jokes funny. This means that humor is for everyone. How did Flip Wilson change TV and comedy for good? His influence helped create a space for more diverse voices to be heard. Number 14, Woody Strode. Woody Strode was one of the first black actors in Hollywood at a time when it was very hard for black talent to get work. He became famous in westerns and action movies, especially in Sporadicus, where he played a brave and strong character. Woody was an athlete and even played in the Olympics before becoming an actor. In a field that often limited opportunities for black performers, his talent for taking on tough parts and making his characters fully developed made him stand out. Woody showed that black actors could take on tough and heroic roles in his work. Woody Strode had success in Hollywood, but he faced some challenges too. Racial stereotypes limited the roles he was given, mostly offering him parts as harsh sidekicks or slaves. This made it hard for him to show his playing skills. He worked hard, though, to make the most of his opportunities. He was angry about his parts because they felt like a way for Hollywood to show a narrow view of black people. Woody's acts were important, and he helped make it easier for future black actors in Hollywood. How did Woody Strode manage to thrive despite the challenges he faced? His perseverance and talent made him an important figure in Hollywood history. Number 13, Cleavon Little. Cleavon Little challenged the norms of the time by showing a black sheriff in a wild western town in the movies. He became famous for his role as Sheriff Bart in the 1974 comedy Blazing Saddles. Viewers liked his timing and humor, and his funny performance made the movie feel new and exciting. Cleaver's role in Burning Saddles was important for Hollywood because it showed that black actors can be talented and lead in major comedies. His performance paved the way for more black artists to play similar roles and helped challenge racial stereotypes. Cleavon had difficulty getting another big role after Burning Saddles. Despite his famous funny performance in the 1970s, Hollywood often had difficulty casting him in major projects later on. Like many black actors back then, Cleavon found it hard to get good parts because he was often typecast, and there weren't many significant roles available that matched the success of Blazing Saddles. Cleavon continued to work in TV and smaller films, but his career never took off again. What made Cleavon Little's performance in Blazing Saddles so unforgettable? His comedy not only entertained, but challenged the norms of the time. Number 12, Louis Gossett Jr. Famous actor Louis Gossett Jr. is best known for his roles in An Officer and a Gentleman and Roots. He won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role as a tough but caring drill teacher in the movie An Officer and a Gentleman in 1982. His performance was praised for its strong emotions and depth. It remains one of his most remembered. For many years, Gossett had worked in entertainment and has made significant impacts to how black men are shown on TV and in films. He played Fiddler, a figure symbolizing strength and courage in Roots, 1977, an important TV miniseries about slavery and the black experience in America. Gossett's impressive work in these areas changed how people view black artists in Hollywood. Gossett faced many challenges as a black actor in a mostly white Hollywood. He often had to deal with racial obstacles in a system that wasn't always supportive of black ability. His involvement and strong support for black rights and racial equality also received criticism. Even though he sometimes went against popular entertainment, Gossett was committed to using his influence to address issues affecting black people. Despite these challenges, he continued to succeed in his work and built a lasting legacy beyond just his achievements. What struggles did Louis Gossett Jr. face in Hollywood despite his immense talent? His career wasn't just about acting, it was about breaking barriers. Number 11, Scatman Crothers. Scatman Crothers was a talented jazz musician who also became a beloved actor. Important scenes in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975, and The Shining, 1980, helped him make a name for himself in Hollywood. Crothers was recognized for his distinctive voice and engaging personality. He brought depth to every character he played. While many black actors were often stuck in typical roles, Crothers proved he could do much more than just play a sidekick. He became famous for playing a kind orderly in the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which won several Academy Awards. Crothers played Dick Halloran, an important character in the spooky atmosphere of The Shining. Crothers was special in the entertainment industry because he could easily move between acting and music. Crothers, a black actor in mainly white films, often faced racial stereotypes. He often played roles that fit the mammy or sidekick stereotypes, which meant he had few opportunities to show his full talent. Crothers, however, defied these expectations with his unique personality and clear talent, bringing something different to every role. Crothers' work helped pave the way for future black artists, showing that talent can go beyond race, even during difficult times. How did Scatman Crothers overcome racial stereotypes to carve out a unique career in Hollywood? His ability to balance music and acting made him unforgettable. Number 10. Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes was not just a talented musician, but also a groundbreaking figure in Hollywood. He first made a name for himself as a composer, particularly for his iconic work on the soundtrack for Shaft, 1971. The Shaft theme song, with its funky, soulful vibe, became a defining anthem of the 1970s and earned Hayes an Academy Award for Best Original Song. His smooth voice and powerful music made him a cultural icon. In addition to his musical success, Hayes transitioned into acting, taking roles in both film and television. He also became famous for voicing the character Chef on the animated series South Park. Hayes brought warmth and humor to the character, making him one of the most memorable voices on television. Isaac Hayes' departure from South Park in 2006 caused a stir. He left the show due to its controversial take on religion, something Hayes, a devout Scientologist, found deeply offensive. His decision to leave sparked debates about the intersection of personal beliefs and professional work. Despite the controversy, Hayes remained a respectful figure in both the music and entertainment industries. His activism and personal choices sometimes placed him at odds with the mainstream, but they were a testament to his commitment to his own values. What made Isaac Hayes leave South Park, and how did his personal beliefs influence his career? His decision wasn't just about a show, it was about standing up for his faith. Number 9. Nipsey Russell. Nipsey Russell was one of the most well-known black comedians of his time. He became a household name for his roles in The Wiz 1978 and as a frequent panelist on various game shows like The Match Game. His quick wit, charming personality, and smooth delivery made him a beloved figure in Hollywood. In The Wiz, he played the Tin Man, a role that allowed him to showcase his singing and acting talents. His smooth, jazzy, comedic style helped make him one of the most recognizable faces in the 1970s and 1980s. Russell's charm and ability to connect with audiences made him a staple in television, especially for those looking for light-hearted humor. His contributions to entertainment made him a beloved part of Hollywood's golden age. Despite his popularity, Russell faced struggles with being typecast into comedic roles, which limited his career. Though he excelled in these roles, he was often seen as a funny man and a label that didn't always allow him to show the full range of his talents. Outside of his career, Russell quietly supported the black community through activism. He wasn't loud about it, but used his influence to support causes that mattered to him. His work behind the scenes to better the lives of others is something that has often been overlooked in discussions about his legacy. Why was Nipsey Russell often typecast in comedic roles, and how did it affect his career? Even in comedy, he made a mark on the world that's still remembered today. Number 8. Howard Rollins. Howard Rollins became known for his role in A Soldier's Story, 1984, which earned him an Academy Award nomination. He played the character of Private First Class Melvin Peterson in this film, and his deep, dramatic performance caught the attention of critics and moviegoers alike. Rollins' portrayal of a soldier struggling with racial tensions during World War II was both powerful and emotional, showcasing his talent for tackling complex roles. He also starred in the popular television series In the Heat of the Night, where his portrayal of Officer Virgil Tibbs brought him additional recognition. Rollins' ability to take on serious roles that dealt with race, identity, and human struggles made him a standout in Hollywood, especially for black actors. Despite his professional successes, Rollins struggled with substance abuse and legal troubles, which marred his career. His battles with alcohol and drugs became well known, and he faced arrests and court battles that tarnished his public image. These personal struggles, unfortunately, overshadowed his immense talent at times. His career was derailed as he dealt with his addiction, and he was unable to maintain the momentum that he had gained early in his acting journey. Rollins' story is one of a talent that was wasted due to personal battles, but he remains a respected figure in Hollywood. What caused Howard Rollins' promising career to falter, despite his immense talent? His struggles off-screen were just as tough as the roles he played. Number 7. Red Foxx. Red Foxx was a pioneer in the world of comedy, known for his groundbreaking stand-up routines and his role as Fred Sanford in Sanford and Son, 1972 to 1977. Red Foxx made a lasting impact on black comedy. His ability to blend raunchy humor with social commentary helped push boundaries in television, breaking new ground for African American performers. Sanford and Son became one of the most iconic sitcoms of all time, and Fox's brash humor and quick wit made him a household name. As one of the first black comedians to achieve mainstream success, Foxx paved the way for future black performers to find a space in both comedy and television. Foxx was no stranger to controversy. His personal life was often messy, marked by public feuds, financial troubles, and legal issues. He was known for his volatile temper, which sometimes led to clashes with co-stars and producers. His legal battles, including issues with taxes and his reputation for financial irresponsibility, made headlines throughout his career. Foxx also struggled with addiction, which added to his challenges. Despite these difficulties, Red Foxx remained a beloved figure in comedy, though his personal struggles often cast a shadow over his legacy. How did Red Fox's personal struggles impact his career despite his comedic legacy? He was a star on screen for sure, but behind the scenes, his life was a whirlwind. Number 6. Melvin Van Peebles. Melvin Van Peebles is often credited with revolutionizing black cinema, thanks to his 1971 film Sweetback's Badass Song. The film, which he wrote, directed, and starred in, is often considered the cornerstone of the blaxploitation genre. It broke traditional Hollywood rules and portrayed black characters in a way that had never been done before. Van Peebles took risks with his filmmaking style and storytelling, using raw and bold content to represent the black experience on screen. His work opened doors for other black filmmakers and actors, giving them a platform to tell their own stories in their own way. Van Peebles' films, especially Sweetback's Badass Song, were controversial due to their explicit content and their challenge to Hollywood norms. The blaxploitation genre, which Van Peebles helped popularize, was seen by some as a celebration of black culture, while others criticized it for reinforcing negative stereotypes. The genre's focus on gritty, urban stories and anti-establishment themes made it both empowering and divisive. Van Peebles' involvement in this genre was groundbreaking, but it also attracted criticism for the way it portrayed race and violence. His boldness in taking on these controversial issues made him a figure who was both admired and criticized in Hollywood. What made Melvin Van Peebles' filmmaking so groundbreaking yet controversial? His films were daring, challenging both Hollywood and society's views on race. Number 5. Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte rose to fame as a singer and actor, known for his hit song, the Banana Boat song, Day-O, which became a global sensation in the 1950s. His smooth voice and charismatic presence made him a star, and his appeal crossed racial lines, allowing him to become one of the most famous black entertainers of his time. However, Belafonte's impact went beyond music. He was deeply involved in civil rights activism, working alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other leaders in the movement. Belafonte used his fame to raise awareness about social justice issues, often speaking out against racial inequality, poverty, and injustice. His activism was integral to his public persona, and he worked tirelessly for change both in the USA and abroad. Belafonte's outspoken views on politics and race sometimes brought him into conflict with public figures. He was not afraid to criticize the government, especially in terms of its treatment of black Americans and its foreign policies. His involvement in social causes sometimes alienated him from certain parts of the public, but it also cemented his status as one of the most important cultural figures of his generation. His willingness to speak out on controversial issues made him a polarizing figure, but it also solidified his legacy as a tireless activist. What was the impact on Harry Belafonte's activism, and how did it shape his career? His music made him famous, but his activism made him a legend. Number 4, Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson was a man of many talents. He was not only a celebrated actor and singer, but also a renowned civil rights activist. Robeson became famous for his deep, powerful voice and his performances in movies like Showboat and The Emperor Jones. But he was more than just a star. Robeson used his platform to speak out against racism and injustice. His activism took him all around the world, advocating for rights of black people and other oppressed groups. He believed in the power of the arts to inspire change and used his fame to fight for equality. Robeson's political views became a point of great controversy during the McCarthy era in the United States. He openly supported leftist movements and the Soviet Union, which led him to intense scrutiny and backlash. The government's anti-communist sentiment turned against him, and his career took a hit. Robeson was blacklisted and faced the loss of his passport, preventing him from traveling and performing abroad. His strong political beliefs, combined with his defiance against oppression, made him a target of both the U.S. government and many of his peers. How did Paul Robeson's politics affect his career? His fame couldn't protect him from the power of political backlash in the Cold War era. Number 3, Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier made history with his groundbreaking performances in films like Lilies of the Field and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. In 1963, Poitier became the first black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Lilies of the Field. This win marked a turning point in Hollywood, showing that black actors could not only perform well, but also win the highest honors in the industry. Poitier's roles were groundbreaking because they depicted black men in roles of dignity and intelligence, challenging the racist stereotypes of the time. Sidney Poitier wasn't just an actor, he was a symbol of black excellence. He broke down racial barriers in Hollywood, proving that black actors could be the leading men in major films. Before Poitier, black actors were often relegated to sidekick roles or portrayed in negative lights. But Poitier's characters were strong, respectful, and complex. He became a role model for black actors and a beacon of hope for future generations. His success opened doors for many others in the entertainment industry. How did Sidney Poitier's success change the future of black actors in Hollywood? Poitier wasn't just a star, he was a trailblazer for black excellence in film. Number 2, Duane Jones. Duane Jones made history with his role in Night of the Living Dead, 1968, where he portrayed Ben, one of the first black protagonists in a major horror film. In a genre traditionally dominated by white characters, Jones's casting as the lead challenged Hollywood's norms and added a layer of significance to the film's groundbreaking storyline. His performance was powerful, showing that a black actor could lead a horror movie just as well as anyone else. Night of the Living Dead became a landmark film, not only for its horror elements, but for its social commentary, which was made even more poignant by Jones's role. Duane Jones's role in Night of the Living Dead changed the representation of black characters in horror films. His performance showed that black actors were capable of taking on roles in all genres, not just those typically written for them. Jones became an important figure in both black cinema and the horror genre, demonstrating that representation in film was essential for storytelling. Although his career was brief, his contribution to cinema, especially in a genre where black actors were often secondary or stereotyped, was invaluable. What made Duane Jones's role in Night of the Living Dead so significant? He wasn't just acting in a horror film, he was breaking down barriers for black actors in a genre that needed change. And finally, number 1, Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. was a true entertainer actor, singer, dancer, and comedian. He was part of the famous Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and others, and became a household name thanks to his incredible talent. Sammy Davis Jr. was known for his charming performances, whether on stage or in films, and he captivated audiences with his versatility. His career spanned decades, and he became a symbol of the power of entertainment to cross racial boundaries. Despite the challenges of being a black man in Hollywood, Davis succeeded and became one of the most beloved figures in American entertainment. Sammy Davis Jr.'s life and career weren't without controversy, though. His interracial marriage to actress Mae Britt in the 1960s was met with intense scrutiny and criticism from both the black community and the white America. At the time, interracial marriage was still a taboo subject, and Davis faced backlash from both sides. His marriage made headlines and sparked discussions about race, relationships, and social norms. Despite the pressure, Davis stayed true to his love for his wife, challenging the traditional views of the time. What made Sammy Davis Jr.'s marriage so controversial? His love life became a focal point in the conversation about race and relationships in America. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more excellent content. Hit the bell icon to stay updated, and click on the next video popping up on your screen. See you next time.